This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. At the end of the day, I'm just a bloke with a chest freezer in his backyard, and before undertaking anything such as an ice bath, you should consult your health professionals and do your own research. Now, time for the show. G'day legends. First podcast today for the Cold Exposure and Hot Topics podcast with me. And I'm delighted to have Adam Thede as my first guest on the show. G'day mate, how you going?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. So I reckon, we obviously went to school together and played footy, but it's probably been about 10, 11 years.
Yeah, something like that. Might have seen each other on the streets or something.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe out one night back in the old
days.
At
the exchange.
Yeah, probably.
Couple of frothies.
So what's been happening over the past sort of 10 years, mate?
Well, since school, started an apprenticeship.
Yep.
So I'm a sparky by trade. Pretty much just did my apprenticeship, smooth sailing all through that, and then started drinking a bit.
Yeah.
Getting into the old bag,
mm-hmm.
and that quickly sort of became something that consumed my life a fair bit, and sort of went down a rough sort of path.
Yeah.
And so sort of had that. That's my shit part, but I've had a lot of good stuff happen. I've met my fiancée Christy, and I've got a little girl Daisy, who's the best thing ever. And sort of everything that I've been through has kind of got me to where I am now. Yeah. And fully working on myself, and I'm now sober, and running, feeling fitter than ever, jumping in ice baths with blokes I haven't seen in 10 years. And so that's the sort of thing that's been happening for me, but just it's almost like a usual life for some of the people these days, falling into those bad habits, and that culture of drinking and doing the odd bag here and there.
And so, it's amazing how prevalent it is. You know, years ago when I was in a bit of a different crowd, everyone was on something. Yeah. Whether it was cocaine or pills or alcoholism
weed
or whatever
or
it was. Weed, yeah.
Everyone's doing something, yeah.
Exactly.
It's almost not normal to be sober. That's what the thing is. It's not normal to be sober. It's almost like frowned upon,
It is, isn't it? So, you go to a pub or something to catch up with people, and you order a soft drink, and it's like you've committed the cardinal sin,
you're a big pussy. That's what you are.
So, it's just fascinating, isn't it? And I think you sort of get to a point where you got to go one way or the other, don't you?
Yeah.
And sometimes that decision's made for you. Other times you sort of pull yourself up and go, look, I can't continue like this anymore.
Or you're that sort of lucky person that can go and have a couple beers and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, just call it at that. But I feel like a lot of people aren't like that. And I definitely was not one of them. So for me, I had to go the opposite way and just say, no, that's it. No more. So, yeah. And that's about, what am I now? Over nearly 4 months sober now off of everything. Done. So that's pretty cool. Everything's changed. Jump in ice baths, run, feel better. It's just so much better being sober. So, yeah.
That's brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
so,
cheers.
When you first started getting onto it and stuff, and I mean, as you do, we all do when we're 18.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, do you think, that, got it from just, this is a couple of beers with my mates, this is awesome, to the next level and the next level?
Well, so you have your couple of your beers with your mates, and then that's just a normal thing, and then that turns into every weekend, and then you sort of get introduced to other stuff. So I started off, I don't think I was 20 years old when I first tried coke, and that was the first ever drug I tried. And even when I had it then, it's still, I reckon the first time I had it, I reckon it was 6 months later I had it again, but it was only like a small amount.
Yeah.
Wasn't until I started working with a tradesman at the time that every work show would get it.
Mm-hmm.
So then started diving into that a little bit more. But then the thing was finding it out that like people that were dealers. And then that's when you start sort of it's the ease of getting it. And then when you start really hitting it, then everything just snowballs, and then you find yourself doing it on a Wednesday night when you really shouldn't be by yourself. That's kind of where I found myself. I was doing it during the week, man. Like even to the point where, go back like 6 months ago, I was doing it during the week and I had a missus and a kid, dude. So
Yeah.
pretty disgusting, but...
So when you were doing it during the week, was it around them, or was it...
Nah, I secluded myself, so I just wouldn't, I wouldn't come home, and I found myself making friends with a lot of these dealers for some reason, and I'd be hanging out at their house, just sitting there drinking beers with them, and doing it there, and just talking shit.
Yeah.
So I never really wanted to take it back home. Sometimes it might have been back home, but I'd just go to bed in the spare room or something, or wait until they were asleep, sort of thing. So, yeah, it's pretty shit to look back at that now, but
hey, look,
it's got me to where I am now, so I wouldn't change any of it. I mean, I wish I could, but at the same time, I don't want to, because now that's what's helped me to get to where I am now.
Yeah.
In a way, so.
And, hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back and, I had knee injuries since I was, 10 years old. And
Yeah.
if I'd have done any of my rehab, maybe I would have more trophies in my mantle than the 2007 Division 3 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hindsight's always 20/20 there.
Yeah.
But, so what it sounds like to me is, you were using it at first for a bit of fun, and then it became almost a bit of an escape for you.
Yeah,
Is
correct.
that right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And so, looking at that now, obviously we all get stressed, and, as life expands and bills come in and relationships happen and stuff, stress naturally does build up. So looking at yourself, say, from even 4, 5, 6 months ago to now, when you're stressed and you're not using that escape, what are you sort of engaging in instead?
Well, for one, ice baths.
Yeah.
I find that helps. Just running, fitness. I'm really into my gym and fitness now, and I like to put a lot of my thoughts into that. And when I'm stressed, it really alleviates that. Breath work. Do a lot of that. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I'd like to just jump on YouTube, like breath work with Sandy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just do that. A lot of journaling as well. And then also realizing that some things you can't change, and there's no point trying to change it and wasting all that energy trying to change it. Just change your mindset on how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, instead of focusing on the negatives, try to take a positive out of it and focus on that. And the more positives that you think of, it's like sort of attracts more positives, so you have more positivity in your life rather than looking at the negatives.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it, and I just think positive and it will all work out in the end, and so far it has. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I do. So just fitness, breath work, positive affirmations, I guess.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing. So
awesome.
That's what I do.
Yeah, and like it's a bit like the ice bath. We can use that as a metaphor here, where, like you said, you can control the stuff you can control, but don't worry about the stuff you can't. So, with the ice, obviously it's a given that it's going to be cold, and we can't really control that unless I tip the water out and we start again.
Yeah, turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But what you can control in that situation is, all right, I know this is going to be what it is. I can control my breath, I can control my mind, and I can get myself... I've positively framed it so that I can control what I can control.
Think how good I'm gonna feel after this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, just push through the bad times and you'll feel better in the end.
And they say the road to heaven looks like hell, and the road to hell looks like heaven for that exact reason. You work through the hard stuff and then it's easier in the end, or you take it easy. You look for those short-term fixes, like drugs, like alcohol, whatever it is.
Exactly,
and then you end up paying for it at the end, don't
you? Yep.
So what, I don't like the term rock bottom per se, because I think that's very subjective and, everyone's got their own journey. But I prefer the term turning point, I guess.
Yep.
And, what was that for you where you went, all right, enough's enough?
So pretty much I was drinking, I got a bag, and I got home late, but this night, and Christy was messaging me saying, when are you coming home? And I was like, just doing my usual toxic stuff, like, I'll be home soon, I'm just doing some stuff. And she got to the point where she packed up her stuff and left and went to my sister's. So when I got home, she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And she didn't come home, wasn't answering me and stuff, and I just stayed at home in my own thoughts for 2 days?
Yeah.
And I was sort of sitting there like, what is wrong with me? Why do I keep doing this? And I literally stayed in the bedroom in bed for 2 days straight, just sitting in there, depressed as, coming down, obviously, feeling like shit, money out of the bank account. We got stuff all money as it is. And that's actually when I came across Ben, who's my coach, has the New Age Man course. Shout out to you, Benny.
So that's Ben Lowe.
Ben Lowe.
Highly recommend giving him a follow too. I've been following his content for a while.
It's pretty controversial stuff, but it's good.
It is, yeah.
He's snorting the creatine and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a way of doing
does.
it, doesn't he?
But it's good. It's what... If it was just a normal video, it wouldn't have caught my attention, but it did, saying that. So I reached out to him, and within 2 days we had a call together, which was one of the most confronting, deep calls that I've ever had in my life.
Yep.
He pretty much just got me to say everything that I'm going through, how I'm feeling and stuff, and then he sort of almost wrote that out and read like a story about me.
Wow.
And he read it back to me, and like really hearing that was like, shit, like this is real. Like I need to do something. And I signed up that day, and still in the course now, still sober from that point, and here I am.
No, that's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
So is it sort of, his program, is it a weekly check-in type thing, or is it regular contact?
So we have a course that we actually do with modules in it. So there's 6 evolutions, and in each one there's around about from 4 to 8 different modules in each one.
Mm-hmm.
So you start off with the usual stuff you go through and figure out where your leverage point in your life is, where you need to put all your work into, and the rest of the stuff will follow. So for me, that was my self-image. Yep. I needed to work on that for myself. I wasn't happy with how I looked, how I felt, all that sort of stuff. I looked down on myself. Worked on that, went to the gym, focused on my mindset, all that sort of stuff, and then bang, got better. Then we have 3 calls a week. Wow. So it's pretty cool. On a Tuesday we do a coursework call, so we go in, like it's all self-paced, but you go in there, ask questions.
Yep.
You hear the other guys in the group if they've got any questions, because it's in a group sort of scene.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of hear what they've got to say about their stuff, so you sort of pick up some ideas like, oh, all right, yeah, maybe that's what I should have done. And you can also share your stuff. On a Wednesday, there's a all-in call where we sort of go over a topic for the month.
Mm-hmm.
So this month it's communication, and like around partners and stuff at work, and positive communication instead of flying off the handle and putting yourself in a stressful situation. It's like navigating those tough conversations.
Yep.
And then we usually once a month have like a guest speaker on. The very first one I did was there was a breathwork person on, and that's when I first discovered breathwork, and it was the most incredible experience of my life. So if you haven't done breathwork, I highly recommend doing that. So that was really cool. And then on a Thursday, we do a deep dive, which is where if one of us or a couple of us has something that's really bugging us, we really go deep on what that is and the root cause, and really back to your childhood and maybe the trauma you had that's centered around that feeling that you have. So you've always grown up with that certain feeling of anxiety around a certain situation, and it's coming out through your adult life. Yeah. So you really go back and you speak to your younger self that went through that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So that's what we do. And then I'm still shivering. I'm that cold from this ice bath.
This is about 30 minutes after the ice bath.
I've even gone in his shower. He didn't get in with me, but that was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, 2 minutes in my house and he's already in my shower. That's how I operate.
Can't wait for next time. Where was I? I've lost it. Sometimes we get a one-on-one with Ben as well. So at the end of a module, sometimes it says book in a call, so you can do that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we get out of that. And then we also have our own WhatsApp community where everyone's in there, and there's a accountability, wins, and support group in that. So that's where you put, obviously, that stuff in there. Then there's one that was created by me, which is the shit talk group. Yeah. So as you can tell. So that group was purely made for like all just the shit talk and stuff. That's not like just everyday banter, or just like, oh yeah, look, I bought this today. Like I thought you guys might want to have a look and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah. So it just takes a bit of the, obviously you're all deep in the work together, but then you can build relationships and friendships.
Yeah, friendships,
outside of
and
that as well.
I have some great mates out of that now that will be friends for life, which is cool. And even Ben himself is like he's kind of like a dad at the start, but daddy,
Daddy Ben.
yeah. But now he's a brother to me. So like he's even coming to my wedding and stuff like that, and a couple other guys are as well. So
That's amazing.
the ones that I really started with at the start, but there's always new people coming in every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, you meet new people all the time. Some of them don't make it, drop out, unfortunately, but that's their journey. But then there's the guys that stick it out, and we've got a really good core group in there, and it's quite an exciting, awesome thing. So like, definitely, if anyone's struggling with the same sort of thing I did, look up Ben, have a look at his videos because they're pretty funny, and just reach out to him, have a chat, or even reach out to me as well. Have a chat with me, and I can pass you on, or if it's not suited to you or whatever, I'm just even happy to have a chat with anyone. Yeah. That's the thing. I love networking now and speaking to people and sharing my story, because no one really did that for me. Even though there probably was people there, but I didn't see it. So
you see what you want to see.
Yeah. But the thing was, I saw what Ben was on about, and that resonated so much with me that I thought, shit, I'm going to reach out and talk. So if it resonates with anyone, just hit me up.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. And I just happened to follow Ben. I think he knows a couple of people I know in the personal development community and stuff. And I wish I had, and I told him this, I wish I had someone like him when I was going through my stuff. So it's obviously been really powerful. And like as you said, you've been in the program for about 4 months now.
Yeah, it's 4 months now. So it's a 6-month program, so I've got 2 months left.
Yeah.
But in saying that, you can always stay a bit longer.
Yeah.
So
keep in touch, all of that.
Yeah. Like a lot of the guys have actually said there's one guy that's coming to the end this month, and he said, I'm not ready to leave yet.
Yeah.
And I said, you don't have to leave. Stay within it. You just don't have to rock up 3 times a week. Like, you've done the work. You should be able to stand on your own feet now.
Yeah.
But like, he just loves that brotherhood that we have.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, when you go through something like that and stop drinking, stop doing drugs, you find yourself like almost isolating to a degree, because you've got to get yourself out of that environment. Otherwise, you're just going to keep falling in those traps. So I found it a very lonely thing sometimes, but the fact that I had that community there was kind of what kept me sane, that brotherhood. And then now I've got the mates that I run with and stuff, because that's something I like and they like, and we can sort of relate in that. So I get to see people physically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a massive support for me and 100% helped me on my journey. So
that's amazing. And it's the accountability factor as well, isn't it? Like, I certainly found, there's motivation and there's accountability, and you kind of need both of them to actually make something work,
Yeah.
But it is a testament, you've been in the program for 4 months now, and you've got blokes from that program that you've only known for that time coming to your wedding. So it just goes to show, like attracts like. And when just because it's 4 months into a friendship doesn't mean it's not one of the best quality friendships you've ever had.
And that's the thing. Like, all the friendships that I've had in the past are just purely related around drinking and drugs, and that's not great. Like, it might be great for someone, whatever. If that's good for you, good on you. But it's not a pure, deep friendship. You know what I mean? Like, unless they see what the shit that you've gone through, they've supported you and you've supported them, and you continue to do so. That's a deeper connection.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It's quality over quantity.
And, exactly.
What I've found in my personal journey as well, and I had some problems with some alcohol and weed back in the day as well, and making that decision to jump out of that, like you say, it does take a hell of a lot, and testament to you for doing it.
Yeah, cheers.
And then you realise, where you're going, not everyone's going to come with you.
Exactly.
And that's okay too. Like, at first you might have the attachment where it's like, oh, I miss, seeing old mate Jimmy down at the pub for, a few beers.
Skewies.
Yeah, exactly. But then, as you say, if that friendship was only based around that and you stop doing it, well, that friendship's not really a friendship.
It's not. And if they can't support you on that either, that's when you just sort of got to cut those ties as well.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's hard, but you got to do it for yourself. That's the thing. You're the most important person in your life.
Yes, spot on.
So, well, I got a daughter and a missus, but I'm the most important person in my life, as selfish as that sounds. But if I don't look after myself, I'm not going to show up for them.
Exactly.
So, you got to look after yourself, guys, all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, as you know, my wife Em's pregnant at the moment.
Yep.
We're expecting
Congrats.
as well, and thank you very much. We're
You're in
heaps
for an
excited.
absolute treat.
Oh, yeah. I won't say anything about Em's behaviour yet, because she's in the other room. But
You can probably hear.
probably can. And, it's amazing how it becomes your why, doesn't it? And
100%.
you've got to, like you say, you've got to look after yourself so that you can show up for the people in your life. And, particularly when you have a wife or fiance and a child, they're obviously dependent on you in a big way, and they've got to be able to trust the man you are.
Exactly, yep.
And that you're going to stick to your word, and that you are going to provide for them. And like you say, you had that decision to make
Yep.
4 or 5 months ago where it was either, okay, this is what's important to me, or this isn't, and you've obviously made the right decision. So.
I think so.
I'm very, very happy to see it, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, obviously, it's not all rainbows and sunshine, is it, going through, the journey and becoming sober and whatnot? Have you had any trouble with it?
I can honestly say, in terms of trouble, like a slip up, no. But if I can think back, there was maybe one time where I really felt like it was very early on in the piece, and Christy and I had a bit of an argument, and I left the house and drove off because I was like, I got to take myself out of this situation. I started driving, and I'm like, I could just easily get a 6-pack here. But I pulled the car over and I messaged the group and I said, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's happening. And they all literally talked me out of it. I went back home, grabbed my runners, went down to Semaphore, went for a run, cleared my mind, went back home, apologised, that was it. So, and then work stresses and everything, but I've just used all the tools that I've learnt in this course. I've leaned into the group, I've spoken to Christy, I've spoken to other people, and it's just, you just got to talk. Like, it is really hard. Those first couple months are really hard, and then seeing people go out, have fun, you feel like you're missing out, but really the fact is they're missing out. They're missing out on an awesome life that they can have, but instead they're wasting it just getting pissed and being in bed on a Sunday hungover, or I'm out just absolutely smashing 10Ks. Yeah. And getting in freezing ice baths.
Exactly right.
But yeah, you just gotta push through. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. And then even now, like, you'll have an argument and you'll doubt yourself, but then you just really got to take all the emotion out of it. Just sit there, even journal, write it down, and take on that different perspective and be like, hang on, I'm on the right path. It's all happening for a reason. Don't try to change it. Just see how you're feeling in the moment. Realize maybe why you're feeling like that, and just keep pushing through. That's all you got to do. You just got to keep discipline, push through. And so far I've done it. Like, there's guys in the group that you see that slip up, and sometimes I think, like, how are they slipping up? Because I've gone through this far, like, but everyone's on their own journey, and you got to remember that. So what happened to me and how I've gone through it can be completely different to what someone else has gone through. But I guess is just checking in with people, leaning in, doing the work. That's it. Just stick to the path that you're on.
Yeah.
So,
it sounds like you're pretty aware of what sort of triggers you when you get that feeling of, oh, I really want a beer, or I don't know if you've had the feeling of, I wouldn't mind a bag or not, but
definitely not bag, definitely beer.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, I've just been having those zeros. I don't mind a zero now, and even my dad, he was not really a drinker, but he would have a beer here and there. And then as soon as I started my journey, he's like, well, I'm not gonna trigger him and have beers in the house. So he's on the zeros now, and he loves them.
Yeah, awesome.
He went up to the river the other day and stopped in at a pub just to get a zero.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that's how much he likes them.
Jeez.
But yeah, I think the thing, if someone is looking at getting sober, you really got to have a look at your environment and who you're hanging out with, because if you're not willing to get yourself out of that, you're really going to struggle, because there are so many triggers there, and it's just so easy to slip up. Yeah. So you really got to look at that, and I think that's the best thing that I did, was take myself out of that situation to give myself the best opportunity to remain sober.
Yeah.
And now I've got over that hurdle, and I don't really don't really care. I went to my mates for New Year's and he drinks, but like they were having shots and stuff. Never like he knows about my journey and he's fully supportive of that. And shout out to you, Josh. And he never gave me. They were having shots, never offered me one and stuff like that. There was none of that pressure. And we were singing karaoke at 11 o'clock at night, and I was just purely sober, just singing Backstreet Boys, man, and just loving it. Like, enjoying it. But then it got past 11, and I'm like, I'm going home.
That's so, all past my
so it's just all about getting the right people around you that will support you. Otherwise, if you're not willing to get yourself out of that environment, find those people, you're setting yourself up for failure. I think, in my opinion, doesn't matter how strong you are. Like, you're gonna have that moment where you're gonna slip up.
It's going to happen. It
100%.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is too, what I found is you might have mates who are supportive of you and are totally well-meaning, but they might not even realise what they're doing. You know, like say, I've been sober for about 6 months now.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And that was mainly because, like, I mean, I was drinking a bit, you know, and in a way that, you know, I work in Gawler and drive down the main street, you drive past 8 pubs.
The old Gawler pub crawl.
Exactly right. Yeah. And then, you know, like I was drinking at one particular pub and you'd have 2 or 3 beers in your first half an hour before you got, you know, before you even knew what you were doing after work. And then, all right, shit, I've got to drive home. So now I'm driving home, probably a little bit over. And you get home, you might have a bottle of wine with the missus or something, and that's your day. And you know, you might not be thinking that you've drunk too much, but at the end of the day, you still had 6 or 7 drinks.
Yeah, yep.
You know, and it's funny, I've found with my journey, like I sort of had to stop anyway because of my heart condition.
Yeah.
And I hadn't missed it at all. Like I've had a couple of mates' weddings and buck shows and things like that where I didn't drink. When I started to get stressed out with things happening with work and in the personal life, that's when I really found, I was like, shit, you know, just that ice cold beer right now would be unreal. But, you know, when you learn a bit more about yourself, you sort of go, like you said earlier, if you can be that person that just has a couple of beers, great, but, you know, so often that's not the case because then another mate walks into the bar or, you know, so on and so forth. But when you adjust that within yourself and you can find a different way to cope with your stress, it's amazing how beneficial that is. You know, like you say, you know, you got here at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, where, you know, you'd already been for a run. And
used to be getting home at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. yeah.
You know, and I'm willing, I bet anything that most of those nights you wouldn't remember very much of at all, would you? I was the same.
Yeah.
You know, and once you've got those positive things in place, everything just opens up, doesn't it? You get more days you can remember than nights you've forgotten.
And I also think the more that you're not drinking, the longer it goes, the better you deal with stress. Because the alcohol, like, it numbs it for a bit, but then you're waking up hungover the next day, anxiety's through the roof, and you're back to square one, if not worse. Yeah,
then you go to work, you probably haven't had breakfast, you're stressed out.
Yeah, no water.
Yeah.
Look like shit, feel like shit.
Exactly.
Just shit.
And it's a cycle, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know? It's hard to break, and like you say with work and stuff as well, I know certainly in my work environment, people do get stressed out quite a bit, and it is contagious, you know. And so if you've got your stress and, you know, your triggers under control, you can actually impact the energy of your workplace and the people around you.
Your vibration, yeah, 100%.
But yeah, no, it's been great, mate. So, is there anything else you want to share about your journey that we haven't covered so far?
Silence. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, just reach, like, if you really feel like you're struggling, just reach out to someone, like whether it's me or you, or just have a look at some sort of coach. If you're really struggling, like, coaching, how much it's helped me, like, and you said yourself, like, you wish you had someone like Ben. It just really, it costs money or whatnot, but I'd rather invest money in myself than a bag, you know? So, just really reach out and lean into it and do the work, because life is so much better without drugs and alcohol. You can really be present, enjoy every moment without sort of numbing it and not remembering what you're doing. So,
and I really just want to focus on one thing you said there, and that's doing the work. You know, no one around you is going to fix your life for you. No one's going to, you know, you could have mum, dad, and Grandma Lois bloody having a go at you going, get your shit together, but it's not going to happen until you decide to do it, and no one's going to do it for you.
And also just know, like we were talking about hard work as well before, it is going to be hard work. It's going to be tough, and it's not going to be a walk in the park. So, but if it was easy, everyone would do it. You know what I mean? So just put the work in, do it, get sober, go for runs and ice baths.
Runs and ice baths, I love it.
Literally, that's it. That's my motto for life. Runs and ice baths.
Awesome. So what's on for the rest of the year for you, mate? What's this year about?
Getting married in October to the lovely Christy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Daisy turns 2 in April.
Yeah.
Then I'm actually moving into a bit of a coaching role myself. That's the path I'm going down. I'm going to be working in with Ben at the Interchange, not Interchange Project, that's his other thing.
Yeah.
At Interchange.
He's doing a lot.
Yeah, he's actually got that many brands. Man of many brands. But yeah, I'll be working in with him and working with guys that were in my position doing the same thing. So currently training up with Ben on doing that, and then by July I'll be having sort of hopefully July one-on-ones with guys. So I'll be working with a guy or a few guys one-on-one during the week, and then by the end of the year I should be doing groups. So sort of like what Ben's running now at the moment. So that's really exciting, because to me that's what came out like, and we figure out our purpose, and that's kind of what mine was. To help men in a similar position to me. So it's really cool and fulfilling to be able to live that purpose. Yeah. That's another thing, finding out your purpose and living to it, and you'll feel so much more fulfilled. And I think that was one of my biggest problems, was I wasn't living to my purpose and my values. Yeah. And I was living out of alignment, so I found myself hating myself. So then I was drinking and doing drugs to numb it. So... And I'm really excited to get out of the construction industry. Yeah, so that'll be so good to put the tools down and just do that work to help out other guys, and then also have a lot of, because it looks like Ben gets a lot of free time as well. Yeah, so to be able to go do things during the day and enjoy life a lot more. So be able to be present with Christy and Daisy and just enjoy life instead of doing big hours on a construction site. Everyone hates you because you haven't done everything, and it's just toxic, man. And it's just, everyone's a pisshead there, and everyone's on the drugs, and everyone hates everyone, and it's just such a shit environment. But in saying that, I really want to try crack into that construction industry and start changing a lot of the guys' perspectives, because no one talks there. No one... It's like, you're a pussy if you talk. Like, don't talk. Let's talk about drugs, and let's talk about how pissed we're going to get on the weekend. And I kind of want to change that perspective. There's another podcaster and mental health guy in this space. His name's Lockie Welch. He wants to do a similar thing. So I've had a few chats with him. Looking forward to somehow working in with him, because he come from a construction background and he feels the exact same way I do. And we both kind of want to change the way everyone looks at life in the construction industry. Instead of being so negative, make it a good, positive space where there's less suicide rate and less drug taking, less drinking, just more positive vibe, and you want to go to work, because right now everyone's going in with that negative mindset. As soon as something happens, everyone's blown up. It's just shit to be in.
And it's, I'd imagine it's, this guy's blaming this guy, he's blaming him, he's blaming him.
That's the thing, no one can take accountability for anything. It's always throwing someone under the bus. Yeah. And it's just, the stress is just ridiculous. Like, it's a higher level of stress I'm dealing with there at the moment, but just I have those coping mechanisms, so it's not so bad for me anymore. Yeah. Like, I come home and it's all good. Like, I'm not that stressed. Yeah. So, just to help other guys deal with that stress as well, that would be great. Yeah. But, so that's pretty much what this year looks like. But just networking as well. I want to do a lot of that. I've got Ben's 24-hour endurance event for the Interchange project. That's to help out young lads who are going down the wrong path, might have been to juvie and whatnot, sort of pull them out, coach them a little bit and say, hey, come on, let's start doing this stuff. Come on, you can make a life for yourself. So that's for the all the funds are going to eSwave. So yeah, I'm just doing a cheeky plug in for Ben. He'll absolutely froth this. But yeah, it's a 24-hour endurance event. So it's 4 hours, 5 events. So 4-hour run, 4-hour gym session, 4-hour kayak, 4-hour mountain bike, and a 4-hour pack march over 24 hours. And you can do it by yourself. You can do every single one, which is what I'm doing.
Yep.
Don't know how I'm going to do it,
nuts,
but I'm going to do it. And then you can do it in a group, so you can sort of split it up. And there's different price points and whatnot. But if you want to have a look at that, head to www.interchangeproject.org. No worries, Ben. So yeah, jump on with that. And but yeah, I got that in February, so that's going to be really hard. But keen to do it. And also there's a lot of guys from our group going up there, so it's going to be a big circle jerk almost of fellas, and actually get to meet Ben in person, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that'll be a really good experience. So if anyone wants to jump on board with that and think they can do it, head there.
Sounds like an incredible cause, and I think this is just my personal opinion on this, but a lot of times with even your schooling life and these kids who may be a bit lost and have spent time in juvie and stuff, it's very much the people that are trying to help them so often are talking down to them, and that personally I found that never worked for me if I needed help.
Yeah, no, you got your back up straight away. You're not going to listen to it.
Exactly, and at least with this approach of what you're working towards, it sounds very much like it's collaborative. It's like hey mate, I want the best for you. What can I do to help you? And let's make
sort of taking that shame out of it as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're not feeling that embarrassment and whatnot.
Look, we're all human. We all make mistakes, and some are bigger than others, and some provide.
Whether you grow from it.
Well, exactly. You have the choice, don't you? You absolutely have the choice.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, basically for you this year, it's fitness and family and
coaching
and
changing career.
Yeah,
bit of everything.
It's the year the results are sown, mate. That's
exactly. So I'm hoping. Well, no, I'll reframe that. This is going to be my best year yet.
Excellent. So, that's what we'd like to hear.
Yes.
Awesome. So is there anything you want to leave us with before we wrap up here, mate?
Oh, man. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Don't know. What's maybe a mantra or I do love me quotes as you probably see on socials. What's something that really resonates with you?
I don't even know. You put me on the spot here. I wish I looked this up before. Maybe not a mantra, but it's just be positive. Just take that positive spin out of everything, and put that positive spin on everything, and just reframe the way you look at things, because there's so much negativity in the world as it is that you're already negatively charged. So just every day practice that gratitude. Start doing that. Even something I've learnt recently, saying to your partner just a couple things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
I did this recently with Christy. It was in our communication thing, and it was like how to sort of make a more positive environment, and that's by saying to your partner things that you're grateful for. And I was sat there and thought, shit, I don't do that.
Yeah.
We're always focusing on the negatives and what we didn't do, and it's just set up a negative environment as it is. So when Christy walked in, I said, thanks for finishing work early today and going and getting Daisy, because I had a big day at work. I really appreciate that. It helped me from stressing. And she looked at me like, what? Just weird. But then she's like, oh, thanks. And it just felt good to do that, and just practicing being positive, because the more you do it, the more you attract. So just be positive. I don't know. It's not a mantra, but that's kind of what I want to leave you with. Is the more positivity you put in your life, the more it's going to show up, and that negativity won't.
Yeah, attracts doesn't it?
Yeah, a metaphor that, it's not a metaphor, but Ben said when we first started speaking, there's the RAS in your brain, which is where you start focusing on something, more of that sort of appears. And he's like, it's when you are going to buy a new car and you're looking up that car and car sales and different models and stuff, and when you start driving around, you see them everywhere. But you never would have seen them before.
Yes.
So that's the same. You could put that into being positive, start being positive more, talking positively, thinking positively. Then that all starts coming into your life instead of that negativity.
Yeah, so it just creates a world of opportunity, doesn't it?
Exactly. So piss that negativity off and suck that negative positivity off. I'll leave you with that one.
Yeah, no filters on this podcast, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I want to leave you with. So
Awesome.
there you go.
And I really want to thank you for coming on today,
No worries.
mate.
Thanks for having me. When you messaged me the other week, I got to admit I was stoked. I sent it to the group. The screenshot of our chat, I rang Christy straight away, told her.
Yeah.
Told my mates as well. I was stoked because I've wanted to go on a podcast so bad, and then you've just hit me up. So I really appreciate that. Thanks for inviting me on, and thanks for getting me in that fucking freeze box, mate.
No, my pleasure,
So
mate.
no, I really appreciate it. So it's been awesome to be able to. What have we been? 41 minutes.
Goes like that,
It
doesn't
doesn't
Yeah.
it? So, and it feels good to be able to get all that off the chest as well. There's not that it was affecting me, but just be able to talk sets you up for a positive day.
And you never know who this is going to impact too.
Exactly, and just I can't stress to you guys enough. If you are needing help, reach out to Trav or even myself if you feel like you resonate with my story. I'm happy to have a chat with you, help you out, and then put you on the path of Ben, if not someone else. So, and I'm sure you could as well.
Absolutely, and I just really wanted to. I sort of said this to you in a message as well, but I really, really want to pump up your tyres a bit here and just say, look, it takes a hell of a man to do what you've done, right? Not only have you sort of gotten to the point where you've admitted you've had a problem, but you've also publicly put your journey out there. And like we've said, it's not all rainbows and sunshine, but you've had that accountability not only from the awesome community that you've got, but everyone's watching too. And mate, that's a true testament to the character you are, and what you're doing is awesome. So
Thanks, mate.
it's been a real pleasure to have you on, and
Thanks for having me.
Really
Cheers.
appreciate it. Pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me on podcast 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Podcast 1, and I should probably ask you as well, if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
Just look me up on the gram or Facebook or whatever. I'm not going to put my phone number on this podcast.
No,
but,
probably not.
if you, I don't know where you're uploading this.
It'll go Instagram, Facebook,
Yep.
YouTube, that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So just maybe put my Instagram or whatever on the link,
Yeah.
link it in or whatever.
I'll
But
put
yeah,
it
just
in some show notes and whatnot.
yeah, just get onto me there, and we'll have a yarn.
Sounds perfect.
Alright.
And you can also follow me on socials as well if this podcast has resonated with you. The Journey of Trav on Instagram, Trav Dittmar on YouTube, and Trav.Dittmar on TikTok, just to mix things up for you. But thanks again, Adam, and
Thank you.
we're looking forward to the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers.
G'day legends, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Just a reminder for where to follow me on social media. I'm The Journey of Trav on Instagram, Trav Dittmar on YouTube, Trav.Dittmar on TikTok. And if you are listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give me a 5-star rating and leave a review as well. That would go a long way to getting this podcast out there. And if you are watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff as well. Thanks heaps, legends, and I'll see you next time.